Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's WK Dad. Show you guys something I've been working on, a little experimentation. Deep draw Orcust. It's kind of weird. Been testing on Dueling Book, found this little bit of success. I'm still tweaking the build, but I wanted to know what you guys think about it so far. So let's just go into the deck profile. Alright, so we're going to start off with our starters. Harmonite Grepher, the Vishudas, 3 Vishuda. The basically the only 2 cards I really want to normal summon. Not running Mathematician, not running Scrapper Cycler. In a different build, I absolutely would. But in this build, I aim to do something a little different. This is just a generic dark level 7 that will become important here in a bit. It's a special summon utility to remove cards out of my way so I can go on. Now for the Orcust package, 1 Skeleton, 1 Bombard. Then we got 3 of the level 7 Orcust Nightmare, 3 Harpar, Orochi Gizmek, and we got World One. This right now is becoming kind of standardized now with the pure builds. These 2 cards, some people are on and off with the 2 and 3 because it gets stuck in your hand. That's where Bombard comes in clutch, unbricking your hands. And this right here, 3 Heart, I mean, that's beyond staple. Some people are on 2 Skeleton. In testing, it's like one of the worst ones to draw. He's like as bad. He's almost as bad to draw as World One. You only want him in the grave. You never want him in your hand. Next up, 2 Phantasmes. I'm not running 3 for space sake, and he's just basically just to fix my hand. This is a blind going second deck, so he's just there to fix my hand, to see, or once I see what I'm playing, and then to dig for cards to break my opponent's board. And freshly off the limited list, up to semi-limited, 2 Dark Arm Dragons. All these are level 7s. So why does he keep referencing level 7? Well, let's get on to the spells, and you'll see why. Now I showed you my starters. The Dark Armor is pretty much my finishers, and then combo pieces. Now let's talk about more extenders slash removal. 2 Mind Control, 2 Instant Fusion, 1 for 1 Foolish Burial. Those are more play starters, extenders, so to speak. 1 for 1 can get Brass Bombard at any time. I mean, if you have the 1 for 1 and a Bombard, once you shuffle it back, you can get it back onto the field. So this card, 1 for 1, is virtually never dead. So, which is pretty cool. Also, worst comes to worst, you can 1 for 1 it out of your hand by ditching another monster. You'll go heavy neg, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Next up, we play a slim Sky Striker package, 3 Engage, Widow Anchor, and Hornet Drones. I thought about jamming waves because I am not running any spell and trap removal. Also, afterburners. Once the meta kind of forms up better, that'll inform my decision. But with all the spells you're going to see we're running, this is basically search 1, draw 1. Pretty much on the 2 activations with a little manipulation. And the deep draw, we got 2 Allure, 3 Return, and 2 7-star. 2 Sacred Sword of 7 stars. Now this is an oldie but goodie from the Dragon ruler format. You banish level 7 from your hand or field and draw 2 cards. That's where all the level 7s come from. You're stuck under, there can only be 1. You can get rid of your Nightmare. You got a dead Dark Armor in your hand, dead Phantasma in your hand. Drew into a dead Vishuda. Centaurs away, even Allure Darkness away. Same with these. That's why you don't really need your normal summon. Get your play started, dumping your monster into the grave, and play on from there. And then the Babel, and the combo off with the 7-star, and the Allure Darkness is the Burial from a Different Dimension. Now, this card hasn't been used in a long time, And I added this recently because I found myself in situations where I power through all my opponent's hand traps. I deplete them of resources, but also deplete myself of resources, and I can't quite push for a game. So what I'll do is I'll just set up my opponent thinking that, okay, this is going to be a grind, and then the end phase or during their turn, I can flip Burial while Orchestrated Battle's up, and then play from my grave as if nothing happened. It also allows you to send with Dingirsu instead of attaching. So it lets you get more greedy, lets you play more aggressively. And with all the draw cards potentially drawing off of the engage, you're going to see that card. And that's also the reason why I only play the 2 Mind Control and the 2 Instant Fusion, because those cards can only be activated once per turn. They're not quite as important to get to, or Instant Fusion, only be activated once per turn. Their 7 stars are going to be activated once per turn, but they're not quite as important to get to as the return to get that important Orcust monster into the graveyard. And that's kind of the way I have it designed, just to dig, assemble the cards I need to break my opponent's board and push. Last up is the single trap, even 40 cards, playing Orcust Crescendo. Like I said, blind second. We don't need more traps than that. We can't use it first turn. So that's all we got for traps. Monster lineup, this is standard by now for the longest time. 3 Galatea, 1 Longirsu, 2 Dingirsu. Considering running a Corstron is a big beater that just blank the whole field effect by shuffling back 3 monsters. That would make it not necessary for me to run the Burial, but just this is just standard for now. Like, again, as the meta shapes up, as the build evolves, maybe I could see myself running it. It just depends. Maybe I could cut something from the build and we'll go from there. And then Link Karibo, Monk of the Tenyi, Kagari. These are my Link 1s. These will all be important. Link Karibo, normal summon Brass Bombard, link it away, banish Bombard to unbrick your hand of an Orcust monster, then go off in combo. Monk goes with Vishuda, then of course Kagari with the Hornet Drones. This utility monsters here. This back row removal, and that's part of the reason why I don't run back row removal in the deck. Some really slick plays you can do. You can make Trisbana and then activate Hornet Drones, special summon the token to the arrow. You can drop your Dark Arm Dragon. You can drop Gizmek. Just any number of things you can do to trigger Trisbana, especially in phase. Your opponents, you go first. They make you go first. You summon this. Your opponent sets their traps. In phase, trigger Trisbana by special summoning something. Opponent's in for a rough ride. Then my boss monsters, Topologic and Brawl Sword. And my instant fusion targets, Winda and Thousand Eyes Restrict. Comment down below, guys. What do you think about that? So I'm calling it deep draw, blind second, deep draw, Orcust, lots of draw. Just want to go. Dig for my power cards, dig for my Armageddon Knight, dig for my Dark Grepher especially. I wanted to run Rhoda for more deck thinning. I don't know quite what to cut. Engage at time is a hindrance because of the Thunder Dragon matchup. I mean, sitting on all those Thunder Dragons is super annoying. Widow Anchor, hopefully I can get that to negate what have you, negate certain monsters. Maybe I get lucky and open it when my opponent opens Dweller or what have you. I can chain it to the activation of, I don't know, playing against Pendulum or whatever monster form to negate. Just experimental, like I said. I'm really excited to show this to you guys. I'd like to show some duels, but working on that. I try to get it set up, but still trying to get it set up. It's kind of disappointing, but it is what it is. All right, guys. WK Dad, and I'm out.